This kid is the 7th prince of the kingdom, and he just throws away the throne without a care in the world, man. The guy infiltrates an assassin guild because he was bored, and still has the nerve to face an army of demons just to avoid getting bored. And when they try to take him down, the guy just falls from the sky and vaporizes the entire army, then walks away like nothing happened. And the weirdest thing? It's not even heroism or drama. He's just there because he thinks it's fun. And now the question remains, how far will this kid go when he actually wants to take something seriously? What's up, my 8th prince? How you doing, man? Just stopping by quickly to remind you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. Leave a like to give that support. And man, no more wasting time. Let's get to the video. With Pazuzu at their mercy, the group was preparing to finish him off, but suddenly everyone started falling to the ground, paralyzed. Silpha realized that, because of a gas released by the demon's breath, everyone was dropping like flies. It's then that the demon takes his full form and charges at Silpha, who was saved by Tao. Even though she got scolded for interfering, Silpha insisted she run with Lloyd, but Tao simply decided to fight using her breathing technique. Pazuzu noticed that Tao was also using her breathing to resist the poison and tried to stop her. Even with the difficulties, she kept resisting and punching the demon hard. But in the chaos, the monsters regenerated and the gas grew even stronger. Tao even said someone much stronger was coming, just before being swallowed up. While all that mess was going down, Lloyd was just chilling on the beach, looking completely oblivious until confronting Pazuzu. The demon even mocked him, but Lloyd had already mentally freed all the monsters, who went on to remember their families. Thanks to a magic technique involving fragrant flowers, don't ask why, the monsters rebelled and attacked Pazuzu back. The furious demon charged at Lloyd, saying that spells don't work against demons. Lloyd, of course, decided to test that in practice. The kid's a bit crazy, right? What can you do? Suddenly, the area went dark. He activated 240 spells at the same time. Seems like this kid is anything but normal, man. The demon, completely overwhelmed, couldn't even move. Lloyd stopped the attack, just to check if the demon was still alive. Grimm explained that spells act on demons like noise, like excessive light for humans. It's suffocating, but doesn't theoretically kill them. The defeated and humiliated Pazuzu reflected on how everything crumbled after centuries of trying to conquer the world. Grimm then mocked him, saying that Lloyd didn't rule through effort, but simply because he has fun doing it, and that attracts others. Pazuzu vented about his ambitions and was swallowed up by Grimm, who absorbed his energy. To avoid raising any suspicion, Lloyd told everyone that the mysterious mage Robert had defeated the demon. Tao, upon hearing this, started searching for him, hopeful to find her beloved there. Little did she know, girl, that the one who was actually there was just Lloyd. Back at the palace, King Charles praised Albert for the victory, but the prince pointed out that much of the credit should go to Lloyd for strengthening their weapons. Albert even suggested that Lloyd be included in the succession competition for the throne. The king was surprised, remembering that if that happened, it would be yet another rival for Albert to deal with. But the prince said he didn't mind, that he wanted what was best for the kingdom, even if he lost. The king then asked Lloyd what he wanted, whether he wanted to join this competition or not. Lloyd thought for a moment and replied, no. After the audience, Lloyd was calm and relaxed, playing with one of the monsters he had freed, now domesticated and named Shiro. Grimm, hidden in the creature's fur to stay out of Silpha's sight, complained about jealousy, because Lloyd spoiled the new pet, but not him. What's this? The crazy demon who was trying to betray him now wants to be spoiled? I don't get it. Silpha arrived and praised Shiro's name. She said he'd need to be taught and would have to learn from the beast tamers. Meanwhile, Grimm was reflecting. Lloyd gave up the throne like it was nothing. For him, what really mattered was magic, man. He was a crazy nerd, addicted to magic. The king, on the other hand, thought Lloyd was too modest to be king. Albert saw the throne as just a mere role, because the true brilliance of the kingdom was already there, in the form of this crazy little prince, obsessed with magic. Lloyd had finally managed to teach Shiro a few simple commands, but the more complex ones still confused the creature. Silpha suggested taking him to Princess Lee's tower, the monster taming expert. Once there, Lloyd explained to Grimm that Lee was his older sister, an animal lover. And before he even finished speaking, she jumped on him, hugging him tightly and giving him a big kiss. So much so that it made him faint. The maid, Aries, appeared to restore order, and upon learning they were there for Shiro, Alice got all excited. Silpha was suspicious that the princess wouldn't be of much help, but Lloyd wanted to give her a chance. Alice then showed Lyra, a monster in the shape of a horse, so advanced that none of Lloyd's detection techniques could sense it arriving. He was impressed by her control and asked to learn the same technique. The princess said the secret was simply love. Apparently, love makes you do anything in anime. Is it the power of friendship? or the power of love? Lloyd was disappointed, of course, obvious. But he soon realized that what she meant wasn't about giving orders, but sharing your will with the creatures through your magical energy. When he tried applying this with Shiro, it worked right away, and everyone was impressed. The kid's a genius at magic, right? Forget about it. On the way back, Silpha said he should dedicate more time to sword training, but Albert showed up right then and interrupted the conversation, introducing Lloyd to his fourth brother, Dion, the young blacksmith obsessed with magical weapons. Dion then asked Lloyd to prove his ability, and was shocked when he saw a sword enchanted with 4 powerful spells, man. The kid's a beast, does everything, right? Excited, Dion said he wanted to create the greatest sword in the kingdom with Lloyd's help, and so, the two began working on a fire sword. The first attempts clearly failed, the metal couldn't handle it and broke. That's when Grimm figured out that the essence used was of poor quality, and one of the 3 essential elements was missing, which could only be found in monster cores. So, of course, Lloyd thought of exploring a labyrinth to find these elements. Silpha had already talked to the king about it, and she would accompany him to the Adventurers Guild. There, Lloyd registered, but made an enormous effort to contain his magical energy so he could go unnoticed during the guild's aptitude test. He got a grade of E and was underestimated by everyone, but when they analyzed it closely, they found his magic level had reached A, the highest, which got him a bit bothered, because he had tried to suppress his magic as much as possible. Silpha requested a labyrinth mission, but the attendant, Katerina, explained that this was only possible for B-ranked adventurers or higher. Just as they were about to give up, Tal appeared in the middle of the place, wearing Lloyd's cloak, now rank A, the girl. She offered to help in exchange for a meeting with Albert. Silpha, of course, wanted to pull Lloyd out of there. Lloyd thought it was funny that Silpha had been an adventurer too. During the mission, they used Shiro to defeat monsters and get the chest from the labyrinth with the necessary materials. Meanwhile, Jean was forging away. Albert revealed that the political situation was becoming unstable and that war could break out at any moment. But he asked Jean to focus on the project with Lloyd. Well, because, right, if you manage to make some absurd swords, girl, the war will be way easier on your side, right? When the group returned from the dungeon, they started testing enchantments and finally created a functional fire sword. Jean tested it, and everyone was impressed by its power. At night, Lloyd lay down, tired, happy for having successfully created several swords, but his mind was still restless. He remembered seeing a strange hole in the garden, as if it were some kind of void. Shiro didn't notice anything, while Lloyd thought a mysterious figure was watching his room from afar, hidden in the palace garden. During the night, an intruder was spying on Lloyd, but was surprised to realize the boy was already behind him, practically teleporting. The intruder fled, but Lloyd fell into a magical barrier. Lloyd confronted the figure until it revealed to be a girl named Ren, who used one of the flower-scented spells to poison him. Even trying to heal himself, Lloyd couldn't dissipate the rare poison. Ren created a black mist and escaped after breaking the barrier with a single kick. Curious, Lloyd decided to track the girl. He already knew of her reputation. She was one of the 6 feared members of the Assassin's Guild, each with a unique skill. Grimm was impressed that Lloyd managed to track her, since her presence was like a hole in space. Meanwhile, Ren returned to the guild's base, where she was reprimanded for failing the mission. But she revealed something more important. Lloyd was mass-producing magical swords, which was a sign that war was beginning. Talia appeared, warning that they were being watched, and it was Lloyd, already inside the base, even poisoned. With nothing better to do, Lloyd decided to test each member of the guild one by one, and that's when we are introduced to each of the guild's bizarre abilities. First, Babylon, a body as ultra-flexible as spaghetti. The second was called Crow. All of his commands turned into physical additions. Galilea, who transformed bodily energy into liquid, creating sticky traps, and Talia, who shared physical damage with anyone in front of her. Lloyd faced all of them with speed and intelligence, even using Silpha's techniques. He cut Crow with the double blade technique, made Galilea fall on top of Talia, and even tested Talia's ability by receiving her blows himself, to understand the shared pain. Even injured after the test, he kept going, excited by the battle. Galilea got angry and tried to immobilize him, but Lloyd dodged with absurd ease. The queen hesitated to fight because of her poison, but Lloyd discovered that everyone there had a problem. They were all unable to control their abilities. Galilea explained that if they could, they might live normal lives. Lloyd then surprised everyone by carving a magical spell on Galilea's body, helping her control her curse, and one by one, he did the same for the others. Now Crow could speak without his curse affecting him. The queen, moved, was finally able to control her poison, and the gang, now transformed, named Lloyd as the 7th member. And since their clothes were a bit torn in the middle of the battle, They even gave the queen's outfit to Lloyd. She didn't quite like the idea, but the kid turned out fine, you know? She accused Lloyd of being involved in a secret war. Grimm explained that the boy just wanted to have fun making some magical swords. The queen clearly didn't believe it, and when she tried to use her powers, Lloyd got even more excited to test them, now that she was in control. Galilea then decided he should tell the story of the guild, which was founded by a guy named Jade, a mysterious leader with teleportation powers. But his curse made him appear in completely random places, and he even ended up in Egypt once, where he managed to return with Egyptian artifacts and proposed that the guild become a group that accepted suspicious missions that the Adventurers Guild usually refused. Yeah, they were working behind the scenes, doing what the guild didn't want to do. And they always left the symbol as a wolf coin at the locations, as a way to prove they weren't the villains. When they mentioned that the kingdom of Lordost was preparing for war, a black envelope mysteriously appeared. Shortly after, Silpha invaded the hideout to find Lloyd, but only found his clothes covered in something slimy, and there was a note. In the message, which Albert read, he panicked when he found out that Lloyd had gone with the Assassin's Guild to the bad palace of Lordost. Suspecting a kidnapping and a conspiracy between Lordost and the Assassins, Albert was about to declare war. Jean even tried to calm him down, saying that no one could kidnap Lloyd that easily. But everything got worse when Silpha showed the boy's clothes, apparently taken off by force, making Albert believe his brother had been violated. I mean, come on, look at those clothes. What else would you think? It clearly went south. Furious, Albert declared war on everyone. Lloyd was heading toward Lordost with the Assassin's Guild after receiving a message from Jade, saying that he had overthrown the local government and stopped the war, becoming the new ruler. Now they were inviting him to the royal palace, insisting that Lloyd join them and help, just as he had helped the group. Lloyd, curious about Jade's control over teleportation magic, considering it one of the most complex powers there, decided to go with them, though the doubt lingered. What if it was a trap? After flying at high speed, they made a stop, and Ren went to get food. While waiting, Babylon told the story of Ren. She had lived in isolation after killing her own parents with poison, until she was taken in by Jade. Since then, he became a big brother to her. This made Lloyd even more curious to meet their leader. Ren came back with food, but it was awful. Everyone hesitated, except for Lloyd and Grimm, who ate happily. For Lloyd, that was the best moment of his previous life. After all, the guy was poor, bad at magic, couldn't do anything. He must have suffered a lot from being poor there. During the moment, they recalled that Jade had revealed he was the third son of the Lordost ruler, who had formed the guild to prevent a war promoted by his own family. Although he confessed that he initially gathered them out of self-interest, the members weren't upset, especially since they had already suspected it. Jade asked them to continue with the guild, even if he didn't return, promising that, if he survived, he would make Lordost a home for all the cursed people. As they approached the palace, Lloyd slept deeply, always protected by a magical barrier. The guy has a barrier active 100% of the time. Ren, a little suspicious of the situation, suggested they investigate before involving Lloyd. So the guild members proceeded and were greeted by a bizarre figure, who led them to a place with a giant table, as if they were honored guests. The atmosphere was somewhat uncomfortable, and soon Jade appeared, smiling. He seemed to have full control over his curse. Everyone in the guild was emotional seeing Jade. Ren went to him, nervous, trying to talk to him. But at that moment, everything changed. Jade and the guests transformed into demonic creatures, and he ordered everyone to kneel. In truth, he was no longer Jade, but a demon. His name was Guirsame, and he was possessing Jade's body. He revealed that he had deceived everyone, using Jade's speaking power to lure them there. Grimm, the good demon, seemingly tried to save them but took a brutal blow and was thrown far away. He fell directly at Lloyd's feet, who woke up furious. Meanwhile, the guild realized they were surrounded by demons who were controlling the bodies of the guests like puppets. Guirsame even explained that Jade had resisted as long as he could, but eventually succumbed to him. He needed the body for the teleportation power. He said Jade had attempted suicide over and over until he finally lost the fight completely. Everyone was paralyzed with rage and helplessness. One of the demons tried to possess Ren's body, but realized something was wrong. The magical inscription Lloyd had made didn't appear in Jade's memory. When pressed to reveal what it was, she resisted with all her strength, even biting her own tongue to avoid speaking. The king fantasized about bringing Jade back, showing him that he could now control his powers, and perhaps even introducing him to Lloyd. But Guirsame was pressing harder and harder. That's when magical circles appeared above the palace, and a colossal beam of energy fell from the sky, destroying the demons and sending them to the underground before they could even react. And emerging from those magical circles was Lloyd. He used such a destructive magic with so much force that it simply opened a crater in the palace. And from the sky, He stared at the demon who possessed Jade's body with a look that said, "What the hell are you doing?" The demon probably doesn't even realize it yet, but man, he's so screwed now because he's about to get an insane beating. And if you want to know how this fight ends, man, stay tuned, because the next video will be the finale of this insane season of the anime. So you already know, man. If you liked it, leave your like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel to give that support. I'll leave this video here for you to check out too. And I'll see you in the next anime, man. See ya.